Stock market today analysis for Aloha Thursday, April 20th, 2023. At the 1 minute mark of this video, a link is going to pop up here. That'll be a link to a different video that gives you an explanation of the unfair advantage of selling cash secured put options on stocks you'd be happy to own. Let me break it down to you. Internet connection, bank account, spend money at least once a year, no legitimate reason not to be doing this. If you're not making money in the stock market some other way, you have no legitimate reason not to be doing this, assuming you have an internet connection, bank account, spend money at least once a year. You can do this without spending a lot of time in front of a computer. So you can spend time doing things that you love instead. This will, over time, help you achieve financial freedom. It is the tortoise strategy, and there's some pluses and minuses to it, but this video right there, boom, you see it pop up right there. The unfair advantage of doing this strategy. I've got free stuff. I've got paid stuff. If you want no stuff, get no stuff. Whatever you want. We're going to get into looking at some things here. All right, so we had what do we have come out today? Unemployment claims. Did that do anything to the stock market? Let's discover if it did anything. Look at this, almost 60% hitting new lows. Tomorrow we got this purchasing managers index reports coming out. They say numbers don't lie, but people do and put the numbers. So it's I don't know. You take it for what it's worth, right? If you're putting the numbers in yourself, maybe you can trust the integrity of it. I just don't know about the integrity of these, and I'm not saying that they're not good. I'm just saying that don't blindly believe Enron, right? If you don't know what that is a reference to, look it up. You don't want to fall victim to Enron. Even if Enron is not Enron, and we're using Enron as an example of another company or another entity. Heat map, we got a lot of red, right? More declining than advancing. Again, hitting new lows, almost 60%. Okay, it's almost 57. It's closer to. All right, technically it's 56.8% below the 50-day moving average, and we got almost 55% below the 200-day moving average. It's been kind of like this, man. This doesn't seem to me to be screaming a bull market. Look at this. You got people selling, option exercising. What are they exercising? And these are insiders. So David and Tomer over there. I used to work with a guy named Tomer from Israel. I'm not sure if this gentleman is from Israel, but nonetheless, let's look at more of actual charts. I pulled up the futures here. I haven't been talking about the futures too much, but I had a long day over at the office, and I need to look at this stuff for myself and see what's going on. If you want, you can use the futures as a reference guide. Look at that. My buddy Rich was asking, is it true that gaps always get filled? Well, right now this one is. And I told Rich that, well, whether it's maybe, even if it's true, in what timeline? If it fills in 5 years, it's still filled, right? So when it comes to the market, something good to always be wondering and asking when people say stuff is, in what timeline? Or maybe you have to change the wording a little bit so it's appropriate to whatever's going on. But someone could say, hey, XYZ stock is going to do this. Well, in what timeline? All right, so we got the dollar. Dollar kind of continuing in this volatile channel down. But that's what it's looking like to me. Is this, overall, it's down on the month. It's popped up here a little bit, but it's not really regaining. There's definitely people out there that are believing the dollar is going down a lot more. And if we look at how much purchasing power a dollar had, let's say 100 years ago, it's already went down quite a bit. All right, so TLT, 20-year bonds, kind of moving. We see over the 20 average price of 20 days has been down. It's doing this volatile type of thing, much more volatile than the dollar over here. Gold contract for the futures is still hanging out above this 2,000. I'm ready for it to go either way. I wouldn't be surprised if it got whacked to the downside, but it doesn't necessarily mean it will. I'm not selling my precious metal mining stocks. Even if it gets whacked, I'll probably be buying more of certain ones I want to hold on to. So we had oil gap up here, but you see it's starting to come down. But between this range right here, it's still on the top end of that range. We see over the last 200 days, the price has been moving down. Bitcoin's maintaining this higher price level pretty well, right? And keeps kind of moving on up. I don't have to, me personally, because I live in the nanny state of Hawaii where they don't allow you to easily trade Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies, I don't even have to worry about what to do with that. If I want to have a little bit of action and get my little bit of gamble on, I'll head over on here to the crude oil futures. That's got enough risk for me. And again, we are just we're down here low in the old VIX. And also on Macro Voices today, I heard forgot what that guy's name is. They got 3 people doing that the end now. The newest guy talking about with all the new zero DTE options, he doesn't know if the VIX can be used the same way it was used in the past, which that hearing someone like that say that is kind of validating what I was thinking, and I don't I use it that way really. It's like, because I know I'm not an expert at this stuff. I want to become an expert. That's one reason why I'm making these videos, to force myself to become better. So when I hear people that I can tell have more experience than me and I'm learning from, when I hear them mention things that I was sort of going down that path, it's an indication of like, okay, seems like my thinking process is good. We got our 4 indices over here, and what does this look like to you? What does this look like? What does this look like, right? That's not, we can split hairs and see how it looks different, but see how it's kind of been going up and started hanging over, going up and started hanging over. This one kind of doing that too, but a little bit longer. So it looks like, when I see all 4 of them, kind of reminds me of, like, I grew up in Michigan. It reminds me of seeing like snow hang off the edge of a roof. So again, just like gold, I'm not going to be surprised in the reverse, though. I'm not going to be surprised if it spurts to the upside. I think there's a lot of fundamental things that are putting some pressure down. Maybe we're going to keep going sideways. Let's take a peek at these 12 sectors. Right, sort of the same look here, over here. We got kind of looking top heavy, right? Everything is looking a little bit top heavy. What about if we look at individual? Here's S&P 500. We got a little volume picking up a little bit today, pulling back over there. But we really got to break, right? As I've been mentioning before, we really got to break through this 420 and then see how things are going to be through 420 to basically 440. Our range overall is about 420 to about 380. You know, there's a little bit of wiggle room in there, right? See, a little bit lower, 375. You know, it's all in there. So Apple is hit a 6-month high yesterday, pulled back just a little bit. Seems like this 165 is becoming a little bit of support. Microsoft, a bit of the same thing, but now we're starting to sideways it out a little bit here. Looks like the 280 could be some support. Maybe this 290-ish is the resistance. Amazon, okay, starting to move up. That's great, but we see what happened when it moved up here last time. I'm not sure. We're looking at 6 months. Not sure off the top of my head what happened over here. I could just go boop like that, and we could see what happened. So we see, you know, it rallies up to this 200-day moving average, came down, tried, didn't make it here. So let's see how it's going to go. But overall, on a year, down. I like to look at both, but the candles are a little bit bigger. So I like that too. All right. Meta over here. Hit this high when was that? That was on the 14th. So a few days ago, not too long ago, we got 1, 2, 3, 4. In the last 4 trading days since then, it's came down. So we could say we got a little bit of a range between 220 and 210. If it starts breaking down to past this 210, we better start watching things. It'll probably catch some support right in this area, though, in that area. Google, of course, is on this one twice because I don't know. I can only speculate why, and it's not for some good speculation. Nothing that screams. Anyways, let me let me stop that thought and just move on here to see. We looks like catching some support right here at the 105-ish. Berkshire Hathaway. This one, McDonald's, some other stocks, they were doing the sideways shuffle for a while, and they started moving on up. And that's what we have right there. Tesla really, okay, now we had a drop. There was stuff in the news yesterday made it sound like a drop. Like, yeah, that's not much of a drop. There's a bit of a drop there. If you would have had a straddle set up on that on earnings, maybe would have came away with some cashola. Let's see what it's going to do. I wouldn't be surprised if it catches some support here at the 160. Looks like it could possibly do that. If it starts breaking through the 160, maybe to catch a little bit of support right here, but it looks like in this area around the 140 could be the next spot. Nvidia is another one that kind of has that Facebook look to it. JP Morgan Chase shot up over here, starting to run into this resistance right up in here. Berkshire Hathaway and JP Morgan Chase are the only 2 stocks that aren't also in the top 10 of the Qs. The 2 that are in the Qs that are not in the S&P 500 of the top 10 is PayPal and Adobe. Let's look at Adobe while we're right here. All right, definitely hitting some resistance right in there. How about PayPal? Got the sideways thing. It's not Google kind of broke through that a little bit or a lot somewhere in there, but this kind of has the Tesla look before that drop and also that Amazon look to it. Qs, yep, kind of in this hanging sideways. Probably got some support right in there. This range right in there, right in there. Let's look over at the diamonds. Dow Jones. Now, this gets to be a little more fun. Starting to see some names that we don't see as much. Then we get into the Russell 2000. Then we get to really see some different stuff that aren't really household talking names for stocks. But we see this area right in here, right? This is some resistance. It's not pushing up through there. This one looks fun to me. Look at all this. Like, man, it gapped up here, went all the way up here, it's back over here. Now we're just back into this range. Speaking of, I don't know, I've showed you this before, but if you have an easy way to put some the volume profile, it's a nice way to check stuff out. It gives you a different look and can give you a different angle of information to help yourself make an educated decision. So learn more about that if you feel like it. And so what do we see? Coming back down, right? Okay. How about Goldman Sachs? Goldman Sachs pushing up against that 200-day average. We do see the 200-day average is starting to move up, so that's a bullish sign. I don't know how bullish. Home Depot trying to get above that, trying to push up against that 200-day moving average, starting to move up. Let's see if it's going to get above it. If this was a stock that you wanted, this might have been a time to buy it. You know, maybe if this is in your price range of selling cash secured put options and you want to own this, see if you can get something at the 280. I don't know if that's the fair value for it or whatever, but it definitely. Why don't you research that if that's something in your price range? And Microsoft, we already looked at that. Salesforce, all right. Salesforce is one that's still showing us some bullishness, pushing up against that. The top had this pivot right here. If it pulls back to this 190, then let's see what happens there. But if it just keeps kind of staying, pushing up towards that, then we got something else. I talked about McDonald's having this a bit of a Berkshire Hathaway thing. So it was going sideways, and now it's really just had this run up. So, you know, if you hear about the iron condors, through here it might have been a good time to sell some iron condors. But look, if you would have had an iron condor position on, you better know how to adjust it when it starts doing this to you. And Honeywell making a comeback over that 200-day moving average, pivoted right here, going to test it again. Let's see if it stays above it. It's going to fall below. Visa. Visa's like, I mean, see right there? It's kind of still in that range, right? So it's not an exact line. It's not, hey, the 230 is the exact line in the sand for support resistance. It's a little bit of a range. And see, we're pushing up to the top end of that. Let's see what's going to happen. It seems to be hitting some resistance right in there. Amgen pivoted right here, kind of moving down to try to test that 200-day moving average, and it did test it. It's heading the opposite direction right now. Boeing, all right, Boeing going sideways. What's going to happen? Is it going to break out to the upside like some of these other sideways ones? And last one we want to look at, IWM, the Russell 2000. Moving sideways under the 200-day moving average. Lots of volatility. No clue why they want to have this one in the top 10, but they do, and it's just not anything exciting, moving sideways. Low volume there. Shockwave. Is this the little cup and handle it had? I don't know, but it's kind of bottoming out here. And let's see what's going to happen. Is it going to be able to stay above, or is this going to be one of these that came above the 200-day and made its way back down? Biohaven. All right, see, overall, Biohaven, right, 6 months later, still back in the same spot. So that's what it is. Intelia. It's same thing. Look at this. Not 6 months later. We're down on 6 months, but overall, still in this range. Moved all the way up here, all the way down there, and just kind of back in the middle there. Crocs. Showing some strength here. Chart Industries. Not showing strength, and just kind of moving sideways after this drop. It's nothing bullish over there. In Karuna, we got a look at that good slope on the 200-day moving average, but you see in the 6 months, we see what's happening. Are things going to start coming back up? Lots of volume came in here. Some volume came in here. Probably a lot of money flowed into that to get it to push up. Is it going to stay in there? Not too surprising. Let's take a quick peek at the shortest term volume profile I have and see what sort of the volume profile tells us about this 190 to 200 area. All right, look at that. Shows a lot of volume right in there. So not so much of a surprise. Look at that, all that volume right in there. So sometimes the volume profile can, like, for example, we could say, it's probably going to hit some resistance right up in here. It wouldn't be surprising if it kind of stays down in here. If it starts pulling up into this area, there's a chance it could pull back. All right, it's a chance. It's not a guarantee. So that's what you're trying to stack probabilities. At least Brent is trying to stack probabilities. I'm not sure what you do. What I'm suggesting for you to do, but I don't know what it is you're actually doing. Apelios, showing some strength right in there, right? Going up on some low volume, but still, nonetheless, it's moving up. People that I listen to on the macroeconomic stuff, I really don't hear anyone with some real bullish stuff. Most people that I'm hearing have more of a bearish sentiment, a big picture bearish sentiment. So one way to interpret that is that maybe these people are right. And another way to interpret it is that even if they are going to be right, maybe you could run to the upside. Sometimes it seems like things take longer to play out. So we'll see. At the moment, though, you know, we're back to figuring out, is it going to break through the 420, and if it goes through the 420, what's it going to do up to 440? That's really it. And if it doesn't do it, then what's it going to do around the 400? Right? And then if it goes through the 400 to the 380, we'll wait to see, right? We don't know. Anyone that says they know for sure, from my understanding, they don't. They just talk as if they do. The beautiful thing about it is that you don't have to wait to make money, though. I'm not waiting to make money. I've been making money this week, last week, the week before. There's definitely ways that you can continually make money no matter what direction the stock market goes. And this is a good strategy. So one of the things that you might have heard before, Warren Buffett supposedly said, rule number 1 is don't lose money. Rule number 2 is always remember rule number 1. When you're selling cash secured put option, you on a stock that you would be happy to own, if you have the money to buy the stock, then upon expiration date, it doesn't matter what happens. And then it just matters, like, is this stock going to stay in business? I don't think it's impossible to find companies that are going to stay in business. Check out that video at the 1 minute mark that I mentioned. Check out the stuff over here on free stuff. It's basically this YouTube playlist with these downloads. Go through that stuff. See if you can make this work for yourself. Start off with some paper trading. If you want to put some money into it and you want to have some one-on-one consulting from me, hit me up. Check out the opportunity right in through there, right? And let's see, does it say? Forgot where I put the price, but I'm just gonna tell you right now. Now, I mean, I guess it's subjective, but a lot of people are gonna say it's expensive. It's not cheap. Exactly. I don't want it to be cheap. If I'm going to be spending 2 months of consulting you and getting you up to speed, I want to have a little bit of a high bar, so that way I'm dealing with people that are willing to pay a certain price and shows me a certain level of seriousness. Because for me, I'm 100% serious with this. Until I die or I lose cognitive ability, I'm definitely going to be doing this strategy the rest of my life. Right? It is that awesome. You guys have a fantastic evening. Aloha.